Hello everybody, this is Yoko's Anime Reactions, and this is going to be my review for I'm a Villainess, so I'm Taming the Final Boss, Episode 4. Well, to be completely honest, I was not expecting what happens in this episode to happen until a much later episode, like near the season finale, I might add. Not Episode 4, which I'm assuming it's going to have at least 12 episodes. 10, 12 episodes, somewhere around there. This should be happening near the freaking end of the season. So, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, you probably figured out what I'm talking about. I mean, it's in the title. And you've seen throughout the show her trying to stop something. Well, the something pops up in this episode. We find out that the person that normally would betray Claude in the game is Keith. I was like, what? Because the way Lilia was talking before, it seemed like she knew him in the past. Or at least was an acquaintance of his. I could be wrong, let me know. Anyway, apparently he ends up being the one to smuggle in demons, or sell demons as slaves to a human, and Claude finds out about this because of Cedric and Lilia figuring it out and going and letting him know, and then they catch him in the act. Or Claude catches him in the act and kills him. And that's when he goes all dragon mode. So, Eileen decides to take the bull by the horns on this and stop this before it happens. And we come to find out that the only reason this happened is because the guy, he was trying to get some land that they were promised from a lord, and the guy is feigning innocence and acting like, I didn't put my signature on that. And claiming that if he doesn't agree, he's gonna say that the guy was smuggling in demon. Essentially, I think it was because he blackmailed him or something. Anyway, he essentially is forcing the guy's hand on this one. So that's why Keith is involved in this. So, due to the non-aggression pact between humans and demons, Claude and the other demons can't really do anything about this. That doesn't include humans, though, so humans could go against humans in this situation. So Eileen decides to get his help with the others on her crew, and however, before they can really do anything, Cedric and Lilia show up with I guess their lawyer or whatever. I don't know who the heck the guy is. But I don't know who it is. To tell Claude that, the whole Keith being the one to smuggle, selling demons and stuff. Well, Eileen essentially claims that, yeah, you don't have any proof, and you need to go away. Trying to essentially buy time while they figure this out and how to fix it. And she ends up making Lilia cry, and Cedric chases after her. Anyway, Keith goes to tell him something, but tells him, I'll tell you what I was going to tell you once, tonight ends, I guess. Or, it's a later point, essentially. And then he would gladly tell them everything. And they end up doing a stakeout and having Keith act as bait, essentially, acting like he's still doing his job. And the Lord in question comes up with his people, and Keith snatches the accounting book from him and runs off with it, which shows all the shady dealings that this guy has been doing. His bodyguards go after him, and he attacks, obviously defends himself. And Eileen is watching this and thinking that Lilia and them are going to pop out of a bush, because that's what happens in the game, but she looks over and they're not in the bush. So something has definitely changed from this. Anyway, they end up gathering up. Isaac ends up coming up with the idea, because they're not allowed to hurt demons aren't allowed to hurt humans. However, they're not hurting humans. They're dropping a bunch of powder on them that irritates them, essentially. So it's like, we're not hurting them. We're not causing them any damage. I'm like, yeah, you're walking a fine line on that one. Anyway, they catch them, put them in the cage after they free the demon slaves, which were acting as decoys. And that's when Lilia pops up and goes and attacks. No, it wasn't her. It was her bodyguard or whatever the freak he is. Goes and attacks Keith. Beelzebub rushes in without even thinking. And Lilia pops out the sword and swipes at him and ends up causing him damage. And I'm like, dude, you guys are worried about the whole the non-aggression thing? You guys are the ones that violated it, not us. Anyway, Eileen pops in and tells them to try and stop them because they've already fixed this. And no, Cedric decides to pop in and claims that Eileen is going to be his second wife. So apparently he thinks he's going to get 2 wives. If I was Lilia, I wouldn't be okay with that. Though we don't know what she would think on this because we never find out. And both Keith and Beelzebub try to stop them, obviously. And what's interesting is that Beelzebub essentially tells them, no, Claude needs her. And yeah, she gets kidnapped. And, well, this is, Anyway, Keith and Beelzebub go and let Claude know what the heck is going on, and Keith lets them know, yeah, I did end up betraying you, but I tried to fix it, and now, Eileen has been captured. So he seems to be okay with it as long as Keith was sincere, I guess, in his apology, and he goes off to get Eileen. Well, Cedric comes in while she's chained up. And I don't know if he was actually intending on doing anything to her, or if he was just doing it just to get a rise out of Claude, because that's what they were intending the whole time. Which makes me wonder, did they know what would happen if they were to trigger him? Did they know about this whole Atome game thing? Or were they just trying to get rid of Claude because he was a threat to Cedric's vie for the throne? I don't know. Anyway, he acts like he's going to take advantage of her, and before he can even do much of anything, all he does is just essentially unbutton her shirt, or whatever the heck it is, part of her dress, whatever. And Almond shows up and says, yeah, I found her, and then Claude essentially destroys the room, and when he sees this going on, yeah, remember what I said when Keith had been the trigger to cause the whole dragon thing? Yeah, now that has changed to this guy, his brother, trying to essentially rape his woman. So yeah, Eileen was the trigger this time. And he ends up going full dragon mode on this. And I was like, oh, this is not good. But thankfully, Eileen is not taking this lying down. No, she goes and, where Lilia was about to get him with the sword, she rushes in and takes the sword to the gut, and I'm like, why did you do that? That's still not, even if you were to die in the process, they are not going to stop trying to attack the guy. And we come to find out that, as I was watching, I was like, wait, it's not coming out the back. And yet she's getting closer to her. Because usually a sword, when you get hit in the gut with it, it's going to come out the back. Eventually. But apparently Eileen has holy sword maiden blood in her, just like Lilia, and thus she ends up absorbing the sword and taking it away from her, essentially. So now she's the holy sword maiden. And apparently, whatever they were planning was apparently getting rid of Claude, and I'm assuming Cedric taking Eileen as a second wife. I don't know. Anyway, this was all to get Lilia to be accepted as a possible candidate for Empress, so she could marry Cedric. Nope. And thankfully, Eileen is able to get Claude back to normal, but he's naked. Of course. Because, his clothes did kind of disappear when he transformed into a dragon. So she avoided the whole final boss thing, thankfully. And because of all this, to be honest, Cedric is kind of lucky that he didn't get sent to jail for what he did, essentially. But now they changed it to where he's no longer the crown prince, Claude is. And Eileen ends up being formally engaged to him now. So she ends up in the same situation that she was at first, but now it's with someone she actually likes and who likes her back. So yeah, I was like, yeah, Cedric and Lily are lucky they did not get in trouble for that. As much trouble anyway, because this could have gone very, very badly for them. So yeah, this is definitely interesting. I wonder how long that engagement will last before they get married. And yeah, Claude still can make her blush like crazy. But I mean, who could blame her? Anyway, I will get to work on, probably after this, recording the latest episode for Welcome to Demon School of Rimacun, I guess. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time.